see if we can get the recording thing
All
going.
right, let me go to participants and allow you to record.
Looks like I'm recording.
Oh, all right, you're good, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is a little bit, I told a story about the moving, and this was another story really about the moving. And it also does fit our theme of something old and something new. And this story is called Crazy Crow Lady. They called me Crazy Crow Lady of Silverwood Avenue back at my Oakland house. That's because at 11 o'clock every morning, I was out flapping around in my kimono, I had big pink and red roses in my front driveway, heaving peanuts to 20 or 30 crows.
Wow.
And if I was late, the crows would caw at my bedroom window and to remind me to get up. This whole crow business actually started with a cat. And I met Lizzie at an animal shelter in a big, beautiful tabby with Abyssinian overtones. And she sat quietly in her cage at the animal shelter and she blinked her big golden eyes. And she came home with me the very next day. I'm going to try and show you a picture of her, but I won't spend a lot of time.
Oh,
So I bring Lizzie home, and she's not all that interested in her male feline roommates, Lyle and Larry. I start to notice this sort of ennui about her. She was a little bored. And, I watched that show, The Cat No, that guy, he says cats need enrichment, something to look at and engage with. So I went out and I bought a real big cat tree and I put it in the dining room window, which overlooked the backyard, the big patio in the backyard and the trees, and gave her something to look at. And she really liked that. And she liked to watch the birds in the trees. And so then I decided, well, I'll go get some peanuts and put them out on the rail, bring them closer to her so she'd get a better look. And sure enough, we've got stellar jays, we've got scrub jays, I had squirrels, they're all queuing up to snatch the peanuts off the rail. And Lizzie, of course, was very entertained, and so was I. I'm not sure who loved it more, her or me. But I also like crows, and crows just wouldn't come in the backyard. I think they just need more space. I don't know what the deal is. And I saw them out in the front yard, out in the street. They were up on the wires in front of the house. And so I thought, well, I can feed the crows out in the front. And I started throwing peanuts in the driveway. And, crows are really smart and took no time at all for them to kind of get with that program. And it started out, it was 2 or 3 crows, and then 5, and then 10. More and more, and then it would be more like 20 or 30 crows. And crows, I know people don't like crows. I love crows, and they're not selfish birds. They always call to their friends and their family, caw, come and get the peanuts here. So it's a big racket, and I think a lot of the neighbors didn't care for that. But I did this for like 13 years. The peanuts on the back deck for the jays and the squirrels, and the peanuts in the front for the crows. And I really love my menagerie inside the house and outside the house. Later on, the male kitties, Lyle and Larry, went on to kitty heaven, and then Frankie joined the family. Sometimes you see Frankie walking through my screen, big white cat. But early last year, I decided I should downsize and, sell my house and move to smaller digs. And, I'm getting to that age, but leaving my birds and my squirrels was really the hardest thing about the move. I didn't want to say goodbye to the crows, but I left a 20-pound sack of peanuts with the new buyers and asked them if they could keep up the feeding schedule. But I didn't I didn't think they would. But in my new home in this senior center, they have rules like do not feed the birds. And I'm not really good with rules. I have a large atrium, however, in my unit, and which is, it's open to the sky, which immediately became a catio for Lizzie and Frankie. And one morning I heard crows out there, and I just happened to have a big bag of peanuts. And I tossed them up over the atrium. There's a flat piece of roof right there. Couldn't see them that well, but I tossed the peanuts up there. And again, really smart birds. They're out there going caw, caw, and calling out to their friends. And now every morning they're out there. If I sleep in, I hear them pecking on the roof because I haven't got up to feed them. And then I got a little squirrel, pokes her head over into the atrium looking for her peanuts. I've been calling her Rocky, but I see now it's the spring. She's been breastfeeding, so maybe she's sort of Rockette. I'm not sure. But I have my friends, the crows, every morning. And there's this one crow that seems to be in charge of getting my attention. And he, besides pecking on the roof, he leans over the atrium and looks in and kind of, where's that woman? And of course they're getting names now. He's Boyd the bird, the squirrel, of course, the scrub jays, and I have titmouses and I have golden crowned sparrows out in the front patio, chickadees, juncos. I have suet feeders out there, which I'm not supposed to have, but I don't know with rules. And and I have a hummingbird feeder out in front, and my Hummer, I call him Humbert in the evening. And I have parades of wild turkeys sometimes walking down the sidewalks, making their little funny noises. And we've got woodpeckers over by the swimming pool and owls at the night. And I can hear coyotes, actual coyotes howling. So of course, I'm thrilled now. I'm getting my menagerie back and even more. It's been wonderful. I did lose my Lizzie in December, but I recently visited a neighbor who lives across the street from my old house in Oakland. And she said the new owners, they're a young couple, said they're feeding the squirrels and the jays in the backyard every day. So I'm really happy now that got my new animal creature family here in Walnut Creek, and my Oakland creatures probably don't miss me that much now that they're being fed.
Yay. How fun. What a great story. Thank you. Oh, this is terrific. Yeah, good. Hey, let's hear comments, thoughts, response.